So it's all module two, part two today. Selection and use of resources and materials. Uh, part one, which is planning for teaching, you've done on in the online session, the asynchronous. Coursebooks, supplementary materials and activities, and teaching aids are the main themes. We'll have a short break in the middle so you can catch your breath, go to the bathroom. If it's all right, we'll begin with coursebook. I'd like you to think, let's have a little conversation, talk about what you like about coursebooks and what you don't like about coursebooks.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. I think
Yeah.
one of the things that I don't like about some textbooks is the way that it's organized. Just because every learner doesn't like think the same way. So
Uh,
like learning in chunks is really helpful for some others, it's not so much. So I think that's one of my challenges, but I do really appreciate like the organization or like let's say we're learning introductions and at the same time like present tense. Sometimes it's hard for me on my own to like organize lessons to like build both things into them well. So I appreciate having them as a resource, but at times I do find it limiting just because again, like it is structured in some chunks that maybe don't work for the learners that I have.
sure. So, yeah, so maybe the coursebook material doesn't, and the way it's organized doesn't suit the students' learning preferences and styles. Yeah, that's a valid point. And welcome, Andrea and Katia.
Hello.
I've recorded the start of the session so that you can go back and look at it later if necessary. But we're starting with course books. We'll then move on to supplementary materials and activities, and finally, selection and use of teaching aids. So, Sochital, are you there? You've had a bit more time to consider the task here. One thing I like about course books, one thing I don't like.
Hi. I'm a bit unpresentable, so I'm not turning my camera off so I don't um, unsettle you all.
Don't worry.
A thing I like about course books is that it gives you kind of like a guide on what you have to focus on, and it helps you um, it helps you with planning the lesson.
Yeah.
It's a good aid in that. And I don't like that it's a bit how do I say it? A bit limiting. It's a bit it makes you concentrate in a certain thing and doesn't give you a lot of space to work on.
Right. Bit limiting. Limiting in what way?
It's it gives you one thing specific to work on. But let's say you want to work on more than one, or you need to work on more than one subject for that lesson, but a course book only covers a part of what you want to work on.
Uh-huh. So it's only partial coverage.
Yes.
So you have to supplement with other material. Any thoughts about this, Katia and Andrea?
Yes, I actually love course books. For example, the TKT manual has been my best ally in this process of getting the certification because I am a very visual learner, so it helps me. But it's not for everyone. So some other people might need something else. So it's a good resource for those that like it as visual learners or that like to read, but they're not, also they can't be inclusive. So for example, someone that has issues with sight, not necessarily blind, but have issues with sight, cannot be like that inclusive. But I do like
Right.
it a lot.
Andrea, any thoughts?
Well, I think the thing I like about course books is that they are very organized. So you have like structure and everything is more fluid. However,
Right.
the same structure sometimes doesn't allow you to be more flexible. Like you have to change things outside the course book, not like in the course book.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I like about them is that they provide the written text, the reading texts, and the listening texts, which otherwise would probably take a long time for you to find and adapt, right? So they save on preparation time. That's what I like about them. The negative side, I think, is that sometimes the topics can be very sort of similar. It's things like, and they tend to be safe topics, don't they? Like, you know, vacations and stuff like that. Yeah. Um, because they're made for a kind of global audience. And rather than the place that you are, which is, say, Latin America, right? It's always like for a global audience rather than your local place. And I think that's kind of limiting. So when I supplement course books, I try and make, the material sort of more relevant to Mexican students, I would say. Yeah. Now, here is the material, the handout for today. Yeah. And you can see the first activity is like you've got reasons or criteria for using course books. Okay. You see on the handout that this is the first activity. I'm going to put you in pairs for about 5 or 6 minutes, and I'd like you to discuss which of these criteria you think are most important and which are less important. Huh? Um, I've turned this into a more accessible worksheet on Google Docs. All right, so I'd like Dania and Sochitel to work together there. Okay, and Andrea and Katia to work together in Group B. I'm going to put you into breakout rooms, and I'd like you to order them. Choose the rank. Uh, so I'd like you just to ignore task one here. Um, you see when you open it, it says something about look at the coursebook pack. Just ignore that, yeah. Let's do that one later. In fact, let me just move it down the page. Okay. I'm just going to put this at the end here because we'll do that as the link to the next part of the session. There we go. So your task is task 2. Which are the most important criteria for selecting course books? The teacher's reasons for selecting course books. Rank the criteria in order of importance, with 1 being the most important and 10 the least important. I'm going to put you into a couple of breakout rooms. And then you can report back at the end on your reasons for putting them in that order. Yeah, so if you think C is most important, like the topics in the course book are familiar to the students and are motivating to suit the age, needs, experience, and interests, then you would put 1 like that, yeah? You decide together. Andrea and Katia. Okay, you can both manipulate this template. Please go and rank. Hi, Axel. Hello, Suchital. Hi, Axel. I'm going to put you into a breakout room and you can assist Danny and Sochital.
Thank you,
Here,
Andrew.
here is the worksheet for today. We're doing the first one on this worksheet, what you can see in front of you. And you have to decide what are the most important criteria for selecting course books.
All right.
The teacher's reasons for selecting course books. And you've got to decide on order of importance. Right? So I'm going to put you into group. Give me a second. I'm going to put you into group A. Axel. There you go. Please join the breakout room.
Hi. There we
Okay, there's no set answer to this exercise, as you probably guessed, but let's just compare. This was group A's. Oh, you didn't put any numbers in. Oh, yes, you did. Here we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
we didn't finish going through
Coursebook
it.
is
We
the
were
right
kind of
level. Okay.
um sorry, we were kind of putting it in different like buckets first, like top three, bottom three, and then the middle, and then organizing them. Um, our top three were for sure like number one being the course book is at the right level for the learners in class, like making sure that the content is fit for
Huh?
students to begin with. Second one was C, just to like keep them engaged.
Uh-huh.
And three was having a variety of like reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So G, just because we want them to be well-rounded learners, but then we kind of hit a wall or like we ran out of time. We have
Right.
some others, but yeah.
Well, I think 1 and 2 does definitely make sense. Let's compare it with group B's. Yeah, I like the idea that they cover all 4 skills because students need to have balanced development, don't they? Can't be really, really, really good at listening and terrible at speaking and writing. Yeah, great. Any further comments before we move on? And welcome, Victor. Let me just give you today's handout, Victor.
Thank you, thank you. I'm really sorry. It's just that I just got out of the job and I was making pressure on that. I'm sorry.
There we go. This is the handout we're using. Okay, there we go. Now, moving on. Let's consider now some problems and solutions regarding course books. And these are typical, these sorts of things might be adapted into exam tasks on the exam, where you have to match appropriate solutions with problems and also strategies. How would you do it? So we have 8 problems here with coursebook material. It's too difficult, the reading and listening material. It has the students doing the same things in each unit. The tasks, text and tasks in the coursebook are too short. There's very little authentic material for listening and reading. The tasks in the coursebook are in the same order in every unit. That sounds very repetitive, doesn't it? Texts and the tasks are too long. Reading and listening material is too easy. There's little free speaking and no writing practice. So, we've got to think of solutions. We're going to use the same Google Doc, same groups. Okay. But what I'd like you to do is, for the solutions, take the ones that are on page 3 of your handout. So we've got some suggested solutions here on page 3. Yeah. Here are some suggestions of possible solutions for the teacher's problems with course books. Match them with the problems on these 8 problems, yeah? You'll need to use some of the letters more than once. Yeah? So, example given, solutions, change the level of the material. Okay? So that's the first thing. Then, well, it shouldn't take you too long. Then you've got to, this is more thinking is required because it's easy enough to match the solutions with the problems, right? But you need to think about specific strategies to achieve the solutions. So here's an example. One of the problems, sorry, wrong one. One of the problems is that the reading and listening material is too difficult. So what could you do? What strategy could you use to deal with that? So you could use supplementary materials. You could rewrite the tasks to make them easier. Ask more general questions. Or only work with part of the text. Okay, so I'd like you to think of practical strategies to deal with the problems. All right? That makes sense. And welcome to Marlene.
Thank you.
Let me just remind you of the task we're doing. Gonna have Axel, Dani, Vito, and Xochitl working together. And Andrea, Marlene, and Katia. Now, I'd like one of you to be the scribe, right? I'd like one of you to do take the notes on behalf of the whole group and write them into the Google Doc, yeah? So we can see you've done it. So Axel, Dani, Vito, and Xochitl. Do we have a person there that will be the secretary?
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, Dani will be the secretary. I'll give you there's a little star to indicate that you're the secretary. In Andrea, Katia, and Marlene's group, who will be the secretary, the writing person? Person who's going to take notes on behalf of the whole group. Any volunteers?
I can do it.
Thank you, Katia. Okay, I'm going to give you 10 minutes then. It's a good idea to screen share while you do this. I can see some of you have been doing this. Excellent. Good job. There we go. There's the link again for the newcomers. Marlene and Vitor just come in. All right. So the first task is to match the problems with the solutions on the handout. All right. On the 3rd page of the handout. The second task is then to brainstorm some solutions, right? Okay, you can think of your own solutions, but if you get stuck, right, you can use these on page 3, where it says exercise 2, strategies for implementing the solutions to teachers' problems with course books with the problems. If you get stuck for ideas, you can choose from this list A to J. Okay? It should take you about 15 minutes. So I'm going to put you into groups now. Ready? Let's do it. Now, some of you come up with some really good solutions. This was Group A's strategies. Yeah, finding visual aids. Yeah, whiteboard activities. Great. In addition to the ones that you thought of, which were excellent, I'd like you to have a look on the worksheet. And see if you can decide which of these strategies, A to J, would be good for implementing the solutions to the teacher's problems with coursebooks. So, for example, would D and F be solutions to problem 1? The reading and listening material in the book is too difficult, so D and F could be the solutions there. Rewrite the tasks, make them easier, ask more general questions. Reduce the text by removing a difficult paragraph, or break recorded material into chunks or sections. What might be good for problem number 2? The coursebook has the students doing the same thing in each unit.
Maybe letter J.
Yeah. Do the activities in a different order. Students can cover sections of the book you don't want them to look at. And how about H? Using different interaction patterns. Cut up the tasks to make them matching tasks or ordering tasks. Number 3, the texts and tasks in the course book are too easy. Sorry, too short. So that could be A. Write extra questions or add a paragraph of your own to a text. Number 4, there is very little authentic material for listening and reading. The answer could be, how about songs? B. And how about G? Use the internet to find interesting articles. The tasks in the coursebook are in the same order in every unit. That could be, how about J? 6. Text and the tasks in the coursebook are too long. Have you heard of jigsaw reading tasks? Those can work pretty well. You give each student maybe one section of a long text to read. They have to summarize it and then share what they've read, and the other students have to make notes. That's what we call a jigsaw reading. And maybe F, reduce them by removing a difficult paragraph. 7, reading and listening materials too easy. That could be L. Or sorry, I. Rewrite them. You could have different questions. Little free speaking and no writing practice. Answer could be E. Use productive skills materials from other course books or from the internet to provide fluency practice. To finish the coursebook section, I think we should do a quick sample task from the exam, so you're not getting out of practice doing exam tasks. You don't want to get to the end and have not done any exam practice at all. So let's just do a short, literally 5 minutes. This is an exam task from the TKT Module 2. You've got 5 minutes to do it. At the end, please put your answers into the chat. So you've got to match the ways a teacher can adapt to written text with the teaching purposes A to G. One extra option you don't need to use. Starting now. 5 minutes. You've got 30 seconds left. Put your answers into the chat. Time's up. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Andrea. Okay, good job. Yes. Number 1 is E, correct. Number 2 is G. Yeah. Number 3 is F. 4 is C. 5 is B. 6 is A. Yeah. Good. Were there any terms that you were unfamiliar with in that first section on coursebook materials? Aye. Question for you. Let me just give you the right answers. There we go. Those are the correct answers. What do we call books, CDs, DVDs, I guess, streaming materials, any other material that students bring to the class as extra material or activities to use instead of or as well as material in the course books? What's that called?
Resources.
Supplemental materials?
That's right. It's supplementary materials. Yeah. Supplementary material. And that is the second of the third topic that we'll be considering today. We've looked at coursebook now. We'll look at supplementary material. Aye. Gonna give you a little task to do on a Jamboard. I'd like you to brainstorm all, make a list of all the supplementary materials you can name. Okay, I'd like you to do it on this interactive whiteboard, which I'm going to share with you now. Right. So let's have you in the same breakout rooms. Axel, Danny, Vito, and Xochitl. Okay, I use these sticky notes. I'd like you to brainstorm all the supplementary materials you can think of in literally like 5 minutes. And the other group is Andrea, Katia, and Marlene. It would be useful if one of you could screen share. Let's see if you can access the this teaching aid. This is actually a teaching aid. not supplementary materials that you can see here. See if you can click access this whiteboard. It's possible you might not be able to because it can be a bit strange, funny, this Jamboard. See if you can write on it on the sticky notes. Can see Danny's there. Can you actually write anything on there, Danny? Try and write on this one of the sticky notes. Just click on it. The thing is to click on it and then just write something on there. Looks like Sochitel is in there.
It's working.
Okay. What about Andrea, Katia, and Marlene? Are you able to write on there?
I'm trying, but I actually can't. I don't know why.
I had to sign into an account, so I don't know if you have one already on
I
Jamboard.
don't have a one.
That's probably
If you have Google, it's easier to sign in with this thing. It seems to prefer Google. So if it might ask you for a permission. And it might send me an email.
I can do it now. Thank you.
You can do it now? Okay. Okay, well, work together then and brainstorm, please, some supplementary materials. Where is it? Podcasts, yes. Put you into breakout rooms so you can share your ideas. Not long though, just literally 5 minutes. Please go to your breakout rooms. Interesting selections there. They've gotten more technological over the years. But flashcards is still popular. Kahoot and other quizzes. Yeah, dice with different actions on each side. Yes, that's a good one. Worksheets. What type of books did you have in mind? What, dictionaries?
More like reading books. Like we talked about, like when we were in school, they would give us like read this book and we'll make a yeah, like paraphrase what you understand or that kind of activities.
For extensive reading?
Yes,
Outside the classroom?
yes, exactly.
All right. Now, here's a list. See if yours were mentioned. This is our second handout today. And the list is the following. Websites on the internet for practice activities on grammar, vocabulary and pronunciation practice. Websites on the internet for games, puzzles, quizzes to provide extra fun activities. CDs with songs for extra listening material. Newspapers and magazines and articles on the internet for authentic reading texts. Books with skills activities like reading, listening, speaking, or writing for extra speaking skills practice. Books with language practice activities or exercises for extra language practice material. DVDs of movies or programs for authentic practice of listening and context setting. Resource books that come with students' books in coursebook packs for extra skills and language practice material. Graded readers for extensive reading material. So graded readers are those like simplified books. Yeah, like maybe one of those what's that detective called? The British detective. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Sherlock Holmes, right? But simplified versions of that. So that students can read those out of the class and they get more exposure to English. And board games and computer games with extra practice material. So, can you think of some reasons for using such sample materials? You could try and write on these some possible reasons for using them. I've already put to cater to all learning styles, like audio, visual, kinesthetic learners. Yeah, maintain students engaged. That's a good one. Add interactive activities, yes. Adapt to the student's level or needs, yeah. You've got 30 seconds more to add to the list. Personalized content. Yeah. Good. Thank you for those. What other reasons can Cambridge give us? The writers of the TKT course, what do they think we should include as reasons for using supplementary material? Well, I have this list. You could let me take a screenshot of this and share it with you. So it could be to add variety, could be to provide extra practice. Oops, sorry. To provide extra practice in grammar, vocab, and pronunciation. Could be to provide extra practice in skills work like reading, listening, speaking, or writing. It could be to replace material in the course book that the teacher thinks is unsuitable or perhaps obsolete. Yeah. Sometimes coursebook materials they refer to I don't know, technology that no one uses anymore. Or topics that you may be uncomfortable with. It could be to add something that seems to be missing from the course book. To respond to learners' requests for materials with a particular focus or topic. Could be to include fun activities. Or more authentic material in lessons. By authentic, remember, we mean material that is not produced for pedagogical reasons, you know? It's like, it's what people read in everyday life, isn't it? Authentic material. Yeah, it's not produced for teaching. So it could be newspaper articles and so on. Podcasts. Aye. So time for one. Do we have time for one activity before we go for break? Maybe not, because this next one will take a bit longer. Yeah, after the break, I'm going to have you look at some examples of activities and tell me what type of supplementary activity it is, where is it from, and what is the teacher's reason for using it. But that can wait. Let's take a short break. And 5 minutes is enough? Or do you want a bit longer? How are you feeling? 5 or 10 minutes? If you want 5, if you want 10,
5 is fine, I think.
5, okay. 5. Just enough to get some water, go to the bathroom. So 5:31 return. Forgot to resume recording. Put it in the chat. Yeah. You think it's A?
Yeah, I think so because I know it's for low levels, but that one has the magical word internet, and it says that it's needing some fresh ideas. So that's what I pick it up.
It's probably 2A, isn't it? 2 is A. Yeah, I agree with
All right,
Katya
yeah.
that 1 is E. Yeah. So 1 is A, 2 is E. Number 3 would be what? I'm looking for activities to help my teenage elementary learners develop their fluency, but I haven't got time to do a lot of extra preparation. Look for synonyms. Notice it's teenage elementary learners. So probably something simple, right? Simple speaking activities, yeah. I'm interested in using poems and short stories in my language classes. Could it be literature? Yes. So look for those synonyms or even antonyms. Number 5, I want a book that explains pronunciation and give some ideas about how to teach it. Yeah. Sounds like this. Yeah. And number 6, my learners need lots of extra tasks for reading, but I haven't got time to search for supplementary materials. Yes. Keywords there are closed tests, yeah, texts. Those are often like words, text with words missed out, and they've got to read carefully and choose the correct word. And comprehension exercises. Yeah. Comprehension. It's related to reading, isn't it? Good. Just a quick reflection before we move on to teaching aids. So what types of supplementary materials have you used as a teacher and as a learner? Which did you find most useful? Any ideas to share there?
Especially for younger learners, I really like to introduce games. So I found like board games or like in each square that you land, you have to like put together a sentence in like present simple or past simple, and like students practice that way. But it's still like a little bit of a competition. So it's fun for them, it's engaging, and they're still like reinforcing the structure in their minds.
Good.
In my case, in my space as a student, not as a teacher, I found out visual dictionaries being very useful somehow. They're a little different than flashcards. And I had an app called Mango, and that's where I used to work with the flashcards. But I don't know, I think I just stopped using it. But I bought a visual dictionary, and to me, that was very easy to memorize. As a student, I don't do that in the classroom because it takes a lot of time and they get bored. So that will be like something on my side as a student, which I find out very useful. But I recommend that to them, but I don't ask them to do it in the classroom because it's just way too heavy.
Good. How do we, why not move on to the final section? What are teaching aids? Can anyone give us an example of a teaching aid?
Flashcards could be good.
And why do you say flashcard is a teaching aid?
I think sometimes I use them just like I'll show students especially for vocab, let's say. Like on one side of the flashcard I have the word, or like if it's like the definition sometimes depending on their age or like their form or use, I guess if it's like a verb, an adjective or whatever. And then on the other side I have a picture. So like if we're reviewing, I'll eventually just show them the picture or like ask them to spell out the word. So that's kind of how I do it. Like I feel like they're very versatile. You can use them for definitions, you can use them just for like general recall or spelling, understanding the meaning. Yeah.
There is a channel on YouTube. You might like to like check it out, guys. It's called Learn English with Movies. Quite easy to give away, but it's really useful. Some videos are quite long because they explain all the grammar behind some sections of movies, but a lot of them are just like little cuts of movies, like 30 seconds long, in which you can quiz your students about I don't know, vocabulary, the proper use of expression, a question or something like that, and it's very very useful. I like to use that a lot because it gives them something to entertain themselves as well.
Katia is saying, can you repeat the name, please?
Yeah, I'll just send you the link about the channel. Let me just 1 second.
Okay, well, the thing to remember about teaching aids is that and you're right, flashcards are a type of teaching aid, but teaching aids are equipment and resources that teachers use in the classroom. You know, like interactive whiteboards, pens, and so on, right? So it's like beyond the course book, things that are peripheral uh, and used in the classroom. Right. Can you find 9 teaching aids? Obviously, we can see white flashcards and whiteboards. Can you write the other 7 in the chat, please? Puppets. Puppets, very important. In case you've lost the handout, it's on page 3 if you need a hard copy of this. I think they can go backwards as well as forwards. Charts, yes. Blackboard and whiteboard, yeah. Who uses Blackboard these days, though? Still missing one or two, though. Here are the answers. How about realia and posters? Oh, you got posters, but what about realia? What's realia?
That's CD player backwards on the bottom.
Oh, yeah. CD player, yeah. Realia, did anyone get that? I think you missed it. Realia is like real items that you bring into the classroom to maybe teach vocabulary, like keys. Or maybe items of fruit when you're teaching fruit. Something concrete when teaching your vocabulary items that are real objects. OHP? What's that? Overhead projector? All right. Well, the selection and use of teaching aids is a syllabus area tested in Module 2, Part 2. And the words in the word search were taken from the TKT glossary. Now, I'd like you to turn to page 4 of your handout. I'd like you to work with a partner and decide which teaching aids you would use to achieve these teaching aims. Numbered 1 to 10. So, sorry, you've got whiteboard, OHP, overhead projector, flashcards, CD player, DVD player, realia, computer, posters, puppets, phonemic chart, and blank paper. Blank paper is paper with nothing on it, all right? So, but to make it a bit more fun, I've put it on the our faithful teaching aid, our online teaching aid, which is this whiteboard, interactive whiteboard. So let me divide you up into 3 groups. 2, 3. You've all got access to this, right? So Axel, Danny, that's group A. Axel still here? Still here? Not here. So it's Danny, Vitor, and Xochitl. Group B, Andrea, Katia, and Marlene. And that's everyone. Everyone's got other except Anna. Let's have Anna in group A, because there might be someone in your group that cannot move stuff. Yeah. Here's the link again. Jamboard. Okay. So you've got to choose from these various aids, and you've got to match them to the activity. And remember, there could be more than one possible answer, so you might need to discuss together on what is the most appropriate. Yeah. So I'll put you into breakout rooms so you can do that.
So not seen to dancing. So not seen.
Go to it. There we go. Hi, Annie. Hi, Norelis. Hi, Encarnacion. Hello. Welcome to the lesson. Now, I understand that Ibar's going first, right? Yeah, let's wait a few more minutes, shall we? Still a bit early.
Hi, everybody. Hello, hello.
All right. So, were your answers any different to these? It said that more than one answer could be possible. Have any of you used any of these aids recently in class?
Yes.
What was the result?
I used flashcards to practice spelling with my kids. It worked.
How did you use it to practice spelling?
So each week we give the kids a new spelling list and they need to practice it all week long. So today we practiced this week's spelling list. So I gave the kids a flashcard with for my higher students, the flashcard with the definition of the word, and for the kids that need more help, the flashcard with a picture.
Ah. Anyone else use any? Thank you very much for telling us about that. Anyone else used any of these items?
Well, yeah, I feel like I do use a whiteboard every day.
What for?
Usually is for writing down the grammar and the structures, but also is for writing down vocabulary that just pops up during the class. Maybe they ask for new words, so we have a space specifically in the whiteboard to
Right.
write down the new words.
Yeah, I also use whiteboards all the time. I have these really small ones that are like the size of a notebook. So like I'll pass that to the students and they'll like practice writing sentences on there for like different tenses or like just
That's
like
handy. Yeah.
we'll show them a picture and they'll try to write the word from the vocab. So like recall.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really handy. They're great.
Great. Now, we don't have much more time, but I'd like to finish with a quick sample task. You've got 5 minutes to do this sample task. You need to match the student activities with the learning aids. Instead of overhead transparencies, we would say projector, I guess, but please put your answers in the chat in 5 minutes. All right, looks like you got the answers pretty much right. The answers were indeed. One was C. Yeah, authentic printed materials like brochures, leaflets. Number 2 is E. Yeah, DVD and video clips. Yeah. Three, act out conversations would be F. Yeah, role play cards. 4, extra grammar activities at home. B, workbooks. Yeah. Formal presentations, display results of information they've collected. That would be a, yeah, overhead transparencies or projector. Students are prompted by the teacher to call out the names of objects one after the other. That would be, yeah, flashcards. Indeed. Quite straightforward, isn't it? And there we finish with a bit of practice. Next week, we finish our live sessions. We're going to look at language in the classroom and covering classroom functions, language functions, categorizing learners' mistakes, roles, grouping students, correcting learners and giving feedback. Quite a lot to do. I'm not sure if we'll get through all of it. I may have to leave some of it for you to do independently. We'll cover as much as we can now. How are you doing with the online materials? Are you keeping up to date with the sections? Any problems you're having?
Not a problem, but just a question. Every now and then,
Yeah.
like I do come up like a on a point or a term or something that I'm not so completely clear on based on like the platform or the textbook. Would we
Yeah.
be able to like email you just to like ask a question or like email someone from like International House?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah, because every now and then I'll do supplement with YouTube videos, but
Yeah,
there's like thing here and there that I just want to clarify.
great. Yeah, I'll just send through a question through the platform. Any
Professor, I
other?
always find
Yeah.
it hard to find the Zoom recordings. I never know where they are.
Okay. I find it easier just to put them under the topic area. So for the one for 19th, so 20th of September, I put it under language and skills because it was related to that topic.
But
Uh,
where in language and skills? Because I'm actually there, but I don't know in which part of the platform I can find them. Because I think my platform looks different than yours.
does it?
Yes, because I think maybe as me as a student, I don't have the same look and feel of the platform, so I don't know what to look for the
You
materials.
can't see this section where it says describing language and skills.
I do, but I can't find the one that says, can you click there, please?
Yeah.
Sections. Sections is, I don't have it.
Yeah. Well, I'd recommend you go through all the different parts, and at the end, you should be able to find the live sessions.
If any of my classmates know where to find the live sessions, I will be I would appreciate the information because I don't know where to find them.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you have to complete basically the lesson in the Neo platform, and at the end, after the content, you're gonna come up with or come across the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like after you go through the content, you'll find the recording.
Okay, I've done pretty much all of the modules, but I can't find it. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying, but I can't find the recordings.
Okay. See if we can make them more accessible then.
It's been very hard
Thanks for
to
pointing that
follow
out.
the course. I can't find the video recordings.
Oh. You could also try the resources section. Could try moving them there.
Maybe. Well, this is just an idea. I mean, if you would like to stay 2 more minutes, for Katia to share her own platform on Neo, so we can see why or where she can find it.
Yeah. Have a look on also in the resources section, you might be able to find them there. Okay, any more questions? We'll see if we can fix that and get back to you. Any more doubts, queries? Okay, well, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you next week.
All right.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
See
Thank
you.
you.
See you next week, guys.
Take
Enjoy
care.
your week.
Till next
See
weekend.
you. Bye. Thank you.